Welcome back to Book2MyKids.com. In this video, I'm going to show you how to begin a new book and select the chapters you want to have in your book. I'm assuming you've already created a new account and you're a returning user, so you're just going to log back in. If you haven't created a user account, you'll need to view the video on how to do that and create a new account. But let's assume you're just logging back in. Type in your email address and your password and select Login. Again, I'm assuming you haven't created any books yet. So what you'll see is a My Account menu that's blank. So you're going to say Begin New Book. You're going to first be presented with a book file name. Go ahead and name the book anything you want, like My First Book. It's just the file name, it's not the title of the book. Select Next. Now you're presented with the title of the book. The title of the book will appear on the front cover. The default title is Book to My Kids, but you can name it whatever you want. Go ahead and click in the box and change the name if you like. Below that is the author of the book. That'll also appear on the front cover of the book. The author, by default, is the name that you put in when you set up your user account. It'll be your name. You could change it if you like, but let's assume it's correct. Now go ahead and select Next. The next screen just explains how the chapters work, but I'm going to show you that through the video. So select Next. The chapter selection will load. And you'll see a list of suggested chapters that you can add or not include in your book. It's up to you. Look over the list of chapters and select the ones that you think would be interesting to have in your book to your kids. You can always change your mind later and either select a new chapter or deselect a chapter. So let's say you want to have a book dedication. Click on the box next to Book Dedication, and that chapter will appear in your book. Read down the list of suggested chapters and add the ones that you think might be interesting in the book to your kids. A little bit about Dad, my favorite things as a teen, 20s, and now. Just go ahead and select the ones that you want to include in your book. At the very bottom will be another box called Add Chapter. So if there's a chapter that you want to have in your book that you don't see as a suggested chapter on this menu, just click on Add Chapter. You'll then have a blank box for your chapter name. So let's say you wanted to have a chapter called Vacations. Type it in. You can also rearrange the order of the chapters in which they appear in your book. So let's say you wanted to have Vacations be the chapter that comes right after Dad's Favorite Things Now. You can move it up there. The way you move a chapter is by selecting it, holding down the mouse, and moving it. Remember, later on, if you decide you don't want to have a certain chapter in your book, just go back to that chapter and deselect it. If you had already written content for that chapter, the content won't disappear. It'll still be there. But if you don't have the chapter selected, it won't appear in your final book. If you do decide you want that chapter back in later, just click on it again, and any of the content you had already written will still be there. You can also rename chapters. Let's say you changed your mind on the name of the chapter, Vacations. Just select Rename, and you can change it. So you could say Favorite Vacations. Now that chapter will be renamed. I think you get the idea of how to create and select your chapters. Please watch the other videos on how to actually edit the chapters, create the book covers, and preview and purchase the book.